Why were tanks cemented into the ground? World War II. The idea of the tank turret fortification can be found with the French and their innovative FT-17 light tank during World War I. This tank featured a fully revolving turret, therefore introducing a new advantage onto the battlefield. During the interwar years, the FT-17 inspired other countries to rapidly develop their own modern tanks, and the pace of development left many obsolete models that could be scrapped for metal or put in museums. However, 3 countries, Belgium, France, and the Soviet Union, decided to use their older tanks in a different way, as fixed fortifications. Belgium, to protect its coastline and border. The Soviet Union, who were the first to adopt the idea, to protect the Stalin and Molotov lines, and France to increase the defense of the Maginot line. It's unclear if these countries got the idea for tank turret fortifications independently or through sharing secrets or spying. From 1935, tourelles démontables were installed along the Maginot line. This revolving turret could be transported and placed into the ground where the fitting was. It would take 3.5 hours to install, and they could be kept in storage or permanently fixed. Although if permanent, they had to be concealed to prevent sabotage from the enemy. At the same time, tank turrets were being considered as cost-effective fortifications to supplement the Maginot Line's defenses. The FT-17 was now obsolete, and most were in storage, having been replaced by such models as the Renault R35 and the Somua S35, so it was the perfect choice, beyond becoming scrap metal or forming second-line defenses. With its engine and tracks discarded, the entire tank was buried in the ground with concrete, leaving only the turret exposed on the ground. As well as machine gun and 37mm gun armaments, the radio model known as the FT-TSF was used as an observation post. Some of these tank turrets on the Maginot Line are still visible today. When the German forces conquered Belgium and France and later invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, they made studies of the tank turret fortifications used by these combatants. In 1942, French and Czech tanks captured in 1940 and early panzers, now obsolete and stockpiled, were used by the German army who mounted their turrets on bunkers to defend the Atlantic Wall. In 1943, a radical decision was made by the German forces. The turrets of the Panther tank were chosen to become tank turret fortifications, whereas up to this point, only obsolete tanks were converted into turret bunkers. Now, an up-to-date tank was to be used. The Panther was chosen because its turret production was outpacing Panther hulls, and its armament could take on the latest Allied armor. This would be known as the Panther Ostpfeilturm. For the role of bunker turret, it was modified slightly. The commander's cupola was replaced by a hatch, and its roof was strengthened from 16 to 40mm thick armor to compensate for its static position from artillery and air attacks. 2 versions of the Panther Ostpfeilturm were used, one that had a bunker that was a steel box, and another that had a concrete foundation. A wooden bunker platform was also planned but never put into action. The upper part of the box was the fighting compartment, while the story below it had the crew quarters, with heating and an electrical generator. These turrets could penetrate the Allied tank armor, but could also be flanked by Allied troops because of their fixed position and hit on the sides where the armor was weaker. These Panther tank bunkers were used mainly on the Western Front as part of the Atlantic Wall, the West Wall defenses of Germany, and the defensive lines in Italy. Very few were used on the Eastern Front. Panther Ostpfeilturm were used all the way to the end as a desperate measure during the Battle of Berlin. You may not have known that tanks were cemented into the ground in World War II. You can discover more interesting history like this on CuriosityStream, the subscription streaming service that offers over 2,000 documentaries and non-fiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals. If you're hungry for more history while you're waiting for the next Simple History episode, get over to CuriosityStream now. They have documentaries on everything: military, ancient history, biographies, and everything non-history like science and art, all available for viewing on different platforms. Get unlimited access starting at just $2.99 a month, and for our viewers, the first 30 days are completely free if you sign up at curiositystream.com/simplehistory.